good afternoon. This is your girl Makita. Welcome you to Jazz and Gospel Connection with a little bit of conversation. Today in the house we have Carrie Sims, saxophonist. Lay back, relax, and catch the vibe. We'll talk to you shortly. Listen to Carrie Sims. Peace. Well, today in the building, family, we have musician, photographer extraordinaire.
Yes.
I caught those pictures. So, I mean, he was like, when do you want to take a photo shoot? I was like, dude, yesternight. Anybody knows me know that's my word. Yesternight. I'm so down. But today we are listening to his phenomenal jazz project. Welcome, Gary. Yeah, I'm so glad you are here with us today. Okay, let's jump in. Tell me what made you write this project. What inspired you, my dear?
Well, at the time, this particular project, this is where I was.
Exactly.
So I had to get this concept out of me. You know what I mean? It was like something that I want to say took me over.
Yes.
But it was just the concept of the project.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to get it out.
Yeah.
You know,
I call that's that spiritual download, though.
Exactly.
Once the Most High gives it's a download that comes in, and you have to give birth to it.
Exactly.
I say that to everyone. If you don't think men give birth, something is wrong with you. Yes,
Exactly.
you do.
Exactly.
Because you are the first to give birth, actually. We were brought out of you.
Exactly.
So, that's a beautiful thing that, and you won't rest until you get it done.
Exactly. Especially being a musician.
Yeah. I get it.
Stuff jumping around in your head.
Yes.
And in your heart, you hear stuff. The temptation, though,
Okay.
was to play covers.
Okay.
When this whole project is all originals.
I love it. I mean, everything I'm hearing so far, it's just beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I love your tone. Is this all? Are you playing the sap or the alto?
On this particular project, I played alto. And sop.
Okay.
Soprano,
Yeah.
but it was curved soprano.
Okay.
Curved soprano and
She has a
alto.
whole nother vibe, though, huh?
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the soprano, curved soprano, the sound comes right back to you.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
I just love that sound of that
Yeah.
horn.
Yeah. It really sounds great. Okay. So the concept, what happened to make you write this project called Intimate Thoughts? Intimate Thoughts, family. Intimate Thoughts. So tell me about what brought you to the point of writing Intimate Thoughts.
Well, it was an expression.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from Jeremiah 11:29 or 29:11. I'm sorry.
I know the thoughts.
I know the thoughts. That Christ. I mean, He has
have
great
towards
thoughts
you.
for us.
Yes. Yeah.
And He loves us. So this is a labor of love.
I'm
basically.
so proud of you.
And so, there were so many things in my life that I had so many successes, goals that I had achieved,
Right.
and goals I hadn't achieved.
Okay.
And so each one, like for an example, what you just heard, I think it was pressing on.
Okay.
It's sort of self-explanatory.
Right.
Whenever you think about pressing on,
Yeah.
there's so many things that I was at that time trying
Pressing
to
through.
achieve.
Got you.
Yeah, and I had to press through. It
I
wasn't
got
like
you.
I had a silver spoon in my mouth, even though at times I felt like I did in my life. I told you earlier.
I understand. Yeah, I be
My
trying
little
to,
sheltered self.
I be pretending that I got Diana Ross's money. It never made it happen,
Exactly.
y'all. I tried though, but
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So when we were, I want to give props to my boy Rick Collier.
Okay.
And Rick Collier, and I got with him, and I said, Rick, I got some money. And so I said, I want to record a project. So it was just he and I.
Beautiful.
So we sat in the recording studio, and we turned the light down real low.
That's how we get it.
And
That's
then
it.
we just started vibing.
That's beautiful.
We started vibing, and so we switched off between I would engineer
Yeah.
and he would play an instrument. Versus, we would go back and forth.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and he also plays keys. I call him. I don't want to tell y'all what I call
I
him.
did.
I had to stop because Rick may pick this up. But someone that can play all
Come
the
on, Rick,
instruments.
no.
It's like you the devil. But basically, we started vibing in the studio, and we would
Okay.
switch off
That's
on
what's
different
up.
instruments.
That's what's up.
We probably talk about this a little later. There's there's very interesting people on this project.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
these are some of the people that you've worked with and that you were able to make that phone call and say, I need you?
Actually,
On this?
at that time,
Yeah.
no.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
They looked at me, I'm supposed to work with you.
I mean,
I was like, what? I mean,
I get it.
it's like, what? You of all people.
Right.
So I was
Oh.
totally blown away with,
Yeah.
like, for example, Nathan East.
Of course, my heart.
He didn't do this online. He came to Portland.
That's right.
And laid down these
Shout out
tracks.
to Nathan East, one of the baddest beasts on bass.
Exactly.
I love you and your queen. She is awesome. So yeah, Nathan is just amazing. For those of you that don't know, that's Nathan on Never Too Much with Luther, and oh wait a minute, shout out to Doc Powell on guitar. Ding, 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 ding. That's my dude. So that is Nathan East and Doc Powell killing it with Luther. So what happened? How did you get to meet and play with such a phenomenal artist like Nate?
Actually, through my buddy Rick.
Really?
Yeah, L did that tribute project with with Secret Garden. Remember that song?
Right. Yes.
And so they were playing them. They were in town,
Okay.
and so we were all there. And so it's like, hey, will you play on my project?
Oh.
Sure. Exactly.
Yeah, he's
so
sweet like that.
months later, he flew into town,
What?
and then I put him up in a hotel so he can hang out. And then he came in and just killed it.
He's so
one
sweet.
take, people.
I know. Yeah.
One take.
One take.
We had the music all written out.
Yeah, no,
right?
he
and we
hearing
slowly
that.
just took it from him.
Yeah,
and
it
say,
was like,
do what you do.
Yes, just let
Just
me
do what you
vibe.
do.
Let me vibe. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That is
Danny,
beautiful.
see, I have bass envy.
Yeah.
One of my favorite instruments is not the saxophone.
It's the bass.
It's actually the bass.
Me too.
It's
I
like-
wish I could just be that chick, right?
But I don't have the discipline right
Back
now.
in the
to say,
day, I
I'm at
had
work.
like my dreads went past my thighs. I had like dreads down my head like for 17 years. So I wanted to be that chick that was on the bass like rocking out.
Exactly.
I never picked it up though.
Jeez.
God knew what not to give me. I'd have probably been no good. I'd have been a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Danny
the bass.
Wilson?
Yes.
He played
Yes.
with Jeff Lober, the first album, when Kenny G wasn't Kenny G, it was Kenny Gorlick
Yep.
back in the day. And Danny Wilson was the bass player. He
Awesome.
was 17 years old when they discovered him. He's another local cat that was one of my best friends. And
That's
so
beautiful.
I said, Dan, I want you to play on my project. No problem, Carrie.
Oh,
Peanut Head.
Well, shout out to Portland, Oregon, because that's where my Taz and my Michelle are. Now, my favorite place in Portland is the donut spot.
Oh,
Voodoo.
Voodoo Donuts.
Okay, we're having so much fun here. I just walked in the house. This is D Knife. I got kidnapped, so
You got kidnapped?
y'all pray on
My
me. You know what I'm saying?
My
Yeah,
favorite.
I did. I had a ride share situation today, and the girl got really messed up because I wanted to verify that I was in the right spot. Okay, when they called me and said your ride is here, I go there and saying nothing's on the car. Okay, so I'm supposed to be getting in the car and not knowing who I'm getting in with,
Yes.
and the lady there just happened to have one of them attitudes. Satan was just fuming from her. And so she got an attitude. So I'm calling dispatch, and I'm like, have you got the right spot? And this is and this. And they're going back and forth, back and forth. So I guess they decided internally to start some old mess. And so we go all the way about a block from here with a drop-off, go all the way back by my office, by my studio downtown,
To come back?
to go there and drop that one off. Normally, they just systematically closest to it. And I just been on there for 2.5 hours. And the chick says, well, I said, well, can I get your ID? And she didn't want to give me her ID, nothing. She just wanted to get, so I'm on the
Wow.
back calling
Well,
customer
family,
service. I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
nice is
We ain't
in
putting
the
up with this
building.
stuff. So, I just had to pray
Thank
past
God.
that. You know what I'm
made it.
saying?
Yes, you made it.
Yeah,
Be nice
you know.
in the building. We're so,
So,
glad you made it safe.
all right, so I appreciate you guys have the Facebook fans going, but you got some people here. These are your cameras right here. I know they explained to them, so we need some FaceTime here on these things here, okay, also. All right, so we are here, and I met this guy as a preempt. I met this guy yesterday, in fact. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday. Yeah, and we were at the African American Museum for an event.
Yeah.
And you happen to be doing the sound as a freelance cat. And so, I felt your spirit and whatever. So I slid up to you and I asked you a question. And like I said, one thing gave me another. And there it was, the unfolding of, how God's kingdom is brought into
Right.
existence. And you could tell when another believer's in the house.
Oh, man.
I mean, they stand
You're
down. The
drawn
room was
to it.
full, but you can
It's
tell.
A familiar spirit.
Yeah.
You're drawn to it.
Yeah,
That's
so
just what
when I talked to the brother and
T-Bird,
everything,
I
just
see
was
you,
us
big
hitting,
brother.
then
You next.
here we are. So so I was able to say, okay, dude, we do the show. You want to come in? And he's like, yeah, well, you got somebody. I said, yeah, say you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
and so I
beautiful.
appreciate your obedience coming
Yeah,
down
you
today because
came.
that was good. So we're here we are at. So
And we've just been
folks, I done
chopping it
caught
up.
you up so far with what's been going on so
You
far, and now
both
so I'm here with you. I'm catching up with you guys now.
Oh, we're so glad
Okay.
you're here.
Well,
but
I am too.
I'm learning that brother is a photographer.
Right.
He does it all. He
Well, I knew
plays
that.
all
See,
the
I knew that
sax.
you guys would click. Like I said, I'm a connector.
Yeah.
And so I knew that it would click.
Yeah.
And even when I'm not here, I knew it would click. And there we are. Because for me, experience. I mean, you guys are both in the industry, know everybody. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I could just sat back there and chilled the whole time and let y'all do the show. I just had to let you know that this camera's here. That's going to be,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, people going to be like, why are you looking to the side all the time? You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to leave them out too. So, yeah, so you guys were in the middle. Now, we have your music to play too,
Oh
right?
yeah, we've been playing
Okay.
it. I mean, it's a beautiful project.
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of him. I'm loving the tone. I'm loving the
Because I was
sound
able to
of-
get into the ones you sent me, and I was feeling. I was like, wow, there's nice vibes on them, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I wanted to get involved with. How many CDs you got out? Did you tell them already? How many CDs you got out so far?
Well, I did more. No, I have on the hard drive. About 20,
Right, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
about 20 CDs.
Okay.
Okay.
After I did this particular project, I went into
Danny Williams is watching.
Danny.
Reunion is in the house. Hey, this is what we do right here
Listen,
on
Danny,
Gospel Jazz Connection. We just get off into these reunions, okay?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I have this brain, like you see me doing sound when you
Right,
make it,
right.
So
Mhm.
I'm real technical. So when I was recording and hanging out in studios and watching the great people play,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up under people like Theron Memory, Pleasure
Yeah.
from Portland. You know, those cats. They
Okay.
were, you know, Jesus, they were killing it.
Right.
Yeah,
You
even
know.
up there in the mountain where
Yeah.
jazz
Okay.
is like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
all they got to do up the
Portland,
mountains
yeah.
is just play jazz, huh?
Portland
Yeah.
and New Orleans is where to go. Like for real. If you really just want to hear some really good jazz,
Oh, really?
horn playing, you can
Okay.
find it in
Dennis
Portland.
Springer.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, those cats.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listen.
Amazing.
I gotta say this. You gotta go and just pick up the Pleasure albums.
Okay,
You
got you.
know,
Okay,
and
got
just
you.
hear Pleasure back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
They was just smashing.
Amazing.
I got you.
So basically, I'm blessed to be able to be part of. It's almost like I'm gonna start with my parents. They said this. They said,
Yeah.
"What do you want to do?" And I said, my father said, "Whatever you do, you got to stick with it."
Yeah.
Period. So I had to stick to it, kind of mindset. So I stuck with everything I did.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah.
quit.
I get it.
But make a long story short, while I was in studios, I was always studying what the engineers were doing.
That's good.
And
That's
so,
good.
even though I love playing saxophone, my brain is wired that way.
Okay.
So I started, to answer your question, I started to produce other people.
Okay,
Just
I
work
got
with
you.
other people on a, how do you say, work for hire basis.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You know, different people fly in, fly out. And so I would record people and then give them their material. They would just leave. So basically, I started recording people.
Okay.
You know, like I said, I'm gonna give it up to Rick. I hate to do this.
Well, look
That's
out,
my
Rick.
boy.
He hates to do
Rick
it.
Callier, Rick
Yeah.
Callier.
Okay.
Okay.
He was the one that really got me going
That's
and
beautiful.
believing that I can do what he did
That's
in the studio.
beautiful.
You know, and plus he found that I had the ear.
Here, yeah.
And he was like,
He activated it. That's why I always say someone will activate it. It's your purpose. So the Most High. Listen, what we don't get. I always tell everybody, and I don't fight no more. You know why I don't fight? Because my fight, I'm fighting a fixed fight. You feel me? You understand? We
Exactly.
really are. It's already been written. No matter whether you say it is or not, it's up to you to believe whatever you want. And especially there is an elect that are sent with a divine purpose.
Exactly.
And there is going to be one person, my first grade teacher activated it for
Exactly.
me. You know what I mean? I saw her, but I didn't believe I could be it until my teacher started calling me. Shout out to Mr. Devano. Mr. Devano, my first grade teacher, was like, okay, little Diana Ross. and that's exactly who I thought I was. It was like, I can be her. I can do, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it set off, I set a standard
Exactly.
for how I performed, for how I looked on stage.
it gave you a vision.
Yeah, it really did.
It opened it up,
So,
yeah.
and that's what Rick did for you. He
Yes.
was your activator.
Exactly.
You know, because the gift was already given.
Exactly.
But something has to turn on the button. You feel me? And it's a beautiful thing. People can say whatever they want, but it's already written. Nobody can say I made you.
Exactly.
Because the Father did that way before.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what
Exactly.
you were telling me about
Exactly.
intimate thoughts. He already knew the thoughts he had
Exactly.
for you.
Exactly.
And that's why he was like, okay, now I know where to send you, because now you got to be connected with that familiar spirit.
Exactly.
And then it's just going to motivate you to step into your purpose. And then I guess that's what Mr. Rick did. What you think, D?
Well, you know what? I hate it when situations happen like this because I missed the foray. But let's do this. See, I don't want to be redundant here. No, really, because I don't let people get away. We go all the way back because where we're talking to people
Okay.
that are in succession, and with the succession, there's regression or else there's progression.
Right.
So wherever somebody's at, somebody's watching, trying to find out how to get there or how to get out of that.
Right.
So I like to go back in the day when there was a level playing field and work from there. So what I usually do is say, well, let's walk through it.
Okay.
So the earliest time you decided you had the calling or something said, this is me. This is where I'm at. No matter what. And I'm sure in college and other things, you had other things that you could have done.
Exactly.
If music wasn't yours, you would have done something else. I can tell that. But at some point in your life, it was like it funneled in and said, you know what? Everything on the table, this is my pathway. So let's walk back to that, just before that time when that clicked.
Yeah.
Okay, and talk about that so we can bring it up for those that are struggling and getting caught along the way, because they do that. And how do they get out? How do they get there? So let's just go back as far as you can go back when you first knew that this was your calling.
I believe understanding your history is part of your future.
Okay.
You got to know where your family comes from, and even if you don't, I think it's a benefit to research your family. My grandmother's first cousin was Duke Ellington.
Okay.
So all my people play piano, right? And so my dad, he's the one that really initiated the question, right? And so they all noticed I didn't gravitate to the piano.
Okay.
My brother was playing guitar in San Francisco, and I was a kid, right? And so I would sneak downstairs and try to play his guitar when he was gone. Boy,
Right.
don't you touch my stuff.
Right.
One of them. And I got a blister on my finger. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble, right? So I was trying to hide my finger. So they asked me, they said, what do you want to play? And I said, I'm supposed to play the saxophone. I don't remember where I had seen a saxophone.
Where you got it from.
I don't remember where it came from.
Right.
But I knew I was supposed to play saxophone.
Got
Okay.
it.
Right?
Yeah, it's in you.
And so when I was in high school, not high school,
Middle school.
Like before
fifth?
high school.
Yeah,
Mm,
fifth
yeah,
grade,
something like that.
sixth grade,
Noble Junior
seventh
High
grade,
School.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
And so in the valley.
Yeah.
And so they would hear, and so what they did, they gave me a trombone. I played that joker for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna play this thing.
Right.
I was playing
They
in
took
junior
ours.
symphonies.
Shoot.
It was just the drive was always there.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
want to tell you about my animal, my zoo. That I had a zoo in the backyard. Remember
Okay.
I told you what my father said. I told you too. I said my father said, whatever you do, you can't stop. So I had a tortoise, I had pigeons, I had rabbits, I had Dobermans, I had dogs, I had animals. And then I would cut people's grass to pay for their food.
Okay.
That is so sweet.
Right.
And I was a kid.
That is
Right,
so
okay.
sweet.
I was little. So that
is
little
awesome.
way about me has always been that way.
I got you.
Yeah.
My brain was always like that. So they were saying, this one's different. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay.
so when I finally got the saxophone, which is
That was different.
Birds of a feather. We connect with each other. We can find each other now.
Yes.
Great.
That's why he's sponsored. He finds himself. He knows like, that's another me.
See, there she is too.
exactly.
20-some years here.
That's it. That's right.
Exactly.
That's my
Over-
heart
just-
right there.
Just drive.
Right. I got you. Okay.
You know what I mean? Nobody had to wake me up. And
It's
so
in you.
4 years later, I was playing trombone, and then I was always trying to get to that saxophone.
That's beautiful.
And then when I finally got it,
Right.
I would practice 8-9 hours a day.
Okay.
I remember my parents would say, "Okay,
That's
son,
when you know you love
it's
it.
time to go outside and play."
Oh,
You know.
but that's when you know they love it.
And
Wow.
when I got it, I heard David Sanborn.
Okay. Oh,
When I
yeah.
got the saxophone,
Right.
I heard him on the radio. I was like, "Speak to My Heart Project."
Oh,
What? You can play this thing like that?
yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It can express itself like that.
Yeah.
You know, and so throughout my life, I got to open up for him and different things. And, you know, that was like, yes,
Oh,
you know.
that's what's up.
But long and the short, I just knew inside I was supposed to play.
Right. Right.
Beautiful.
But I'm sort of sensitive like that, though. You know what I mean? Being a musician,
Yeah.
you were telling me earlier,
Yeah.
I'm the same way I was moving forward. But let me say back. I'm gonna stay in the past.
Okay. Got you.
I was always sensitive to sounds, environments. I'm a hypersensitive. I can sense things, and so I was just open.
Wow.
I was open, and
Got that
because
high hertz is what I call that.
Yeah.
You got that high hertz.
and my
frequency.
parents created an atmosphere
Yeah.
for me to thrive in.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's beautiful.
You know what I mean?
That's
I
so
just
important.
maximize on it. You know, I used to
so
watch my
important.
brothers get in trouble and say, "Daddy said don't do that."
Right. Right.
And so
You learn.
I'm gonna try to walk in
Right.
line, right?
Right.
And so when I walked in a certain zone, I figured it out early.
Got you.
You
Okay.
know, there ain't no
That's
trouble
cool.
coming this
That's
way.
it.
Right.
So, and it made me flow.
Right.
It helped me flow. I was studying, folks.
That's so
Okay.
good.
You understand? So, basically, That's part of my story.
Yeah,
about playing the sax.
you just fell in love with that sax.
Oh my
you knew
God.
immediately.
Oh my God.
Anytime you rehearse like 8-9 hours, you know that's something you're passionate about.
That's right.
Because we'd be like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want it no more. Yeah. My son wanted his guitar so bad, and then when you finally get it, it's like, nah, I don't want it. I was like, all right, bro.
Right,
yeah,
right.
so that's when it was something that, you might be interested in. But when it's a part of you, it's just, it's a passion. It's not even rehearsing. You're just cultivating.
Exactly. I also think, for me, I can look back, hindsight's 2020. I remember I grew up in the church. And so when I came from here and went to Portland, I was at a youth service.
Right.
And they said, son, we heard that you play the saxophone. I don't even know what gospel music was. Right?
Oh, gotcha.
And they said, you're going to play at the youth program. I'm like, oh my God.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Shake it.
I got you.
And then from there, they used to tell me, boy, you sound so good. Right? And I didn't know I didn't. So I'm saying my environment was a very loving.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
I mean,
cultivated it.
Love.
Right, that's
important.
You know what I mean? It
Very
was so
important.
powerful.
Right.
For me, just to encourage my heart. They always encouraged me. Not till later, they said, okay, I think we can tell you this. When you was coming up, oh my God.
Right.
We suffered a long time.
Yeah.
I said,
They that wait upon the Lord, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I got you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's just been music is an expression of my life.
Okay.
It's not my life.
I got you.
You understand?
Yeah.
Music is an expression. That's how I'm learning how to interpretate it. It's a conversation that a lot of people can't share. You talked
Right.
about that earlier.
Yeah, and I said this just last week. I believe the saxophone is the voice of all instruments. It sings just like I do. It's
We
the
try
voice.
to.
It's the voice. Look,
Exactly.
Kirk Whalum got that down to
Yes, he
a science. It's like, yo, I mean, he knows how to. I'm like, dude, like really. To me, he's one of the best, if not the best, that can get every run, tonation. He make that saxophone is singing lyrics to me. When he, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
When he plays All I Do, Stevie is in the horn. You feel me? He every word is enunciated in his blow. You know what I mean?
That's why, I mean, in jazz suits the Savage Beast. Now, like I said, now if they had been playing jazz on this route here, I would have been more apt to be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of just dead air and just, you know what I'm saying? But in this
You have a
situation,
peaceful environment.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, give me time to think. Now, everybody has their own flow when it comes to the sax is my favorite as far as the jazz, you know what I'm saying, instrument. And, you know what I'm saying, because it's so prolific in what we're trying to say and how they try to say it.
Yeah.
Now, I know we had Eric Darius on, and, you know what I'm saying, and, you know Eric. Okay, now, as a young man, and I mean, some of the old school cats going on there, and I followed them and watched them go to Newport Jazz Festival and all that stuff I do and watch them. And I watch people very, you know what I'm saying, very closely to find out what their nuance is in their music, what they're doing. You can watch the body language and how they do it, the flow. And I would watch Eric as he would play the sax with one hand. Now, and I'd watch him do song after song after song. So what does that mean when somebody's able to do it with one hand as far and still get the notes and how to diversify and what else? So that showed me now there is a new school of young folks that are transcending where the forefathers are. No matter what you do in any subject you talk about, there are the forebearers. And then they have those youngsters standing on their shoulders that are bringing the spirit of excellence, that are trying to do it to the next level. Okay? So now, here comes this one. In your tutelage, in your journey of where you are now, okay, and mastering what you're doing now, who are some of the cats that you said, okay, these are the shoulders I want to stand on, that put you in that flow, in that nuance that you have that nobody else plays like you?
That put me in that flow. Well, I'm going to start here. This one cat came up to me one time. He said, one of these days you're going to hear it. and he left me right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, here, what?
Right. I got you. Yeah.
Now, I don't think I've arrived
Okay.
totally. You know, of course, you can listen to Parker and Cannonball. I love Cannonball's tone. I love how clean his sound, how he articulated. You know what I mean? I love Cannonball sound. There's Coltrane. There's all kind of Paul Desmond. There's all kind of players. You know, back in the day. There's Zoot Sims. There's a lot of different people that were awesome. Awesome. You know, in their individual sound. I've always been the type of person, because I grew up in an independent kind of mindset. Because with my father, and I got to give it up to him, I didn't know what he was doing.
I love that about it.
You understand? But hindsight is 20/20.
Right.
I don't, like I said, I want to make an announcement, public service announcement.
Yeah.
I have not arrived.
Okay. Got you.
I'm
Okay.
still learning.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
still learning.
Yeah,
You know, there's always so many things, because I can sit for an hour and play long tones, right? And I'll hear different parts of one note, the harmonics of different notes, and I reach for them, right, to try to express that harmonic in that note. People saying you're playing the same note over and over and over and over. I hear something.
Right.
You understand? So I hear something in my head.
I got you.
You understand? That I'm trying to obtain. That's a struggle sometimes, because my muscles,
Right.
my mental
Right,
state
right,
of
right.
being, there's a lot of things that have to line up for me to be able to express that the way I'm hearing it.
Right.
You
Right.
understand? So it's a process.
Right.
It's a process.
It is.
Now, if someone says I have a different sound than someone else, wow. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
You understand? Because you'll hear a little bit of David Sanborn. You hear Bernard Johnson, you know, who's a gospel saxophonist. You hear...
I heard a little Grover in you.
Yeah, I love Grover
Yeah,
Washington.
that was my
Right.
heart.
I love Grover Washington. I'm going to tell you this. When I went to see him live for the first time, I said, either I need to quit playing,
Right. Right. Get
still
there.
keep practicing.
Right, right.
Because his
Yeah.
albums
Right.
did not represent what he did live.
Right. What he did live was just
Right.
on a whole nother level.
That's true.
And that's what I loved about that whole Philly International vibe. Is that's something that they taught me. The album, you want to be able to catch the people. You want it to be beautiful.
Exactly.
You want it to be melodic. You know what I mean? But they said that show,
Yeah.
you man,
It's gotta jump.
that's what
Yeah.
you got to go from here to
Right.
here.
Exactly.
You want them
Right.
to leave with an experience.
Yeah. That moves the machine right
Yeah,
there.
it does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I watched Kenny Garrett, who I think is a virtuoso player, and I said, my boys took me on a birthday. They said, "Kid, we're gonna take you to hear one of your favorite horn players,
Yeah.
Kenny Garrett.
Yeah.
He played with Miles
Amazing.
Davis and all those cats,
Yeah.
right?" And so I sat there, and so the artistry of what he did was just like phenomenal. But I started saying, what makes him different? And you know what it was? He tapped into the spirit.
That's the difference. Yeah. That's a cut. Cut
And a
above.
lot of people can articulate
Right.
and run runs and all
Right.
that kind of stuff, which is, you know, you earned that. You can play it. You did
Right.
it.
Right.
But to tap in spiritually, you
Right.
talked about Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt taps in spiritually.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, whatever voice you have, you got to be satisfied with that voice. But
Right.
You got to stay connected
Yeah.
to the source.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
that's not just the horn.
Right.
That's
You know what I'm
anything.
saying? That's God.
Yeah, that's anything.
Yeah.
You got, you know, because it's you know, when you move in self, that's when you know it's fallible and it's temporal. And
Right.
you can go, you know, and it's ordinary. But when you are tapped into the source, the greatest power, your power is beyond what you ever, the magnitude is beyond you. You know, there are things that coming off a stage you don't even remember
Don't even remember.
that has happened, or things you've said, or hit notes you've hit, or runs you've made. You just because that's how the big heads can never happen over here. Because
See, that's why I try to get to
know
my
that.
private space.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even on a live situation,
Right.
I try to get to my private place,
Right.
and share that place.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
so
audience.
important.
And still
Yeah.
still be involved and
That's
still
so
be a
important.
now one of my first cats that I was watching that I really got attached to was John Clemmer.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, beyond a doubt, that is my guy. I don't care what. Okay.
But I'm sitting right here.
Yeah. Well, wait a second. But you have not arrived yet. You said that, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that you have now during this scenario, and then when I found out it was another one like Cat Stevens was my boy too, and these are cats that came out there just hit it and then walked away, and it always made me wonder when you're indebted, it is a part of you. how. I mean, I'm sure if we were sitting down with them right now, they'd give us a plethora of why.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But can you really, really, really walk away?
No, you know what? They don't walk away. It's like what we were talking about before you got here. What happens is you can go from the White House to the townhouse.
Right.
Because Najee, another phenomenal phenom.
Right.
And I know that it's just like, they know what they're doing. There is a I always say there are some of us that are in this thing, but we're not of this thing.
Exactly.
So to be in it and not of it is to know that you have a balance and you have the right to your own life. You have the right to remain authentically you. And some of these different things, labels, they want you to sound like, okay, we want you to do an album just like Kenny G. Well, you're not Kenny G.
Right.
You're Kerry.
Exactly.
Go do Kerry. Do whatever is in your spirit, but that's not what you're told. So many people wanted me to do this, do that. I can't do that. I don't understand. I cannot articulate somebody else's gift. That's them. I might can sing just like you. Like a lot of times, if Tina was sick or hoarse, I had to double her. People didn't know that, but I had to double her. But that's just what, I could do it, but I would never come out doing Tina Marie's Warble. I wouldn't do it.
Right.
Even though I can.
Right.
You understand? It's not who I am. That was her gift and that was her thing and that was her lane and she stayed in it. She never tried to turn around and be somebody else other than Tina. So that's what I'm saying. You get into these different places and spaces where, and when they tried to not make her Tina, she sat down.
Right.
She sat down for 15 years because you when someone wants you to become someone that you're not, just for the sake of what's out there right now,
or the money.
Yeah, and the money. No, a lot of them have said, no, I'm good. I know how to make my money on the side.
Right.
You know what I mean? They know how to do what they do, still travel, still perform, give people their best, but it's just not on that high profile level, but they're still doing it.
But I'm glad you made a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because you as a vocalist and watching you progress for as long as we've known each other and been involved. Now, when you were on your last tenure with Rolls Royce, the Rolls Royce sound was still there.
Yes.
And people were still running out, and a lot of people that didn't know, if they didn't know, they didn't know, but I knew Makita's sound. Exactly. And those of us that knew said, no. But I can understand what you're saying, but still being able to have your individuality. But sometimes people try to put you in that box and say, okay, this is where you're at. We need you to stay in that box.
Right.
And when you got tired of being in that box, you're like, okay, you know what? I got to go. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. But a lot of people don't come to that point to where they'll admit it. And step forward in faith and get out of it.
Right.
Because when you find that you're having people just saying they're looking at the cats that hold the charts.
Yeah,
they want to know what the music is that's they're selling.
Yeah, I had to
what's making that money. They don't care nothing about what you want to do, and how you want to do it. They're like, oh, look, we're cookie cutting.
Yes.
And you get tired after. You did.
Yeah, I did.
And when you get tired of cookie cutting, you're talking to people now that are listening that are stuck in that too.
Yeah, I know.
And so I'm glad you're addressing that because they're stuck and they can't go nowhere because they're saying, okay, you want this paycheck?
Right.
Guess what?
Exactly.
You're going to keep doing it. You're going to keep doing it.
And we lose faith that our gift will always make room for us.
Oh, yes.
And I'll
Speak
never
on it.
lose faith in that.
Right.
I mean, I'll never lose faith in that. But I've had so many, I've got some wonderful friends in this industry, man. And, my girls know I got some that I can say, well, this thus saith the Lord. God said. Then there's other. I'm like, look, ninja, look it.
Right.
We ain't going here.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to know who you're talking to and how to get them.
Right.
Because it's like you can't. I refuse to give up and say, well, I got to stab this sister in the throat to get this position.
That's right.
Listen, if it's for you, nobody can rob you of that but you. The only way you can rob yourself of it is if you sit down and don't move.
Right.
Yeah, as long as you're moving, your gift will always make room for you, man. You don't ever have to cut nobody's throat to get a position.
No,
That's why-
now let's go back to you, Nancy, because I'm not gonna let you get out of here now. Okay, now here you go. Now we're gonna go back to one of those times that you get those times where that one incident lasts forever. Now tell us about that one point that made you just sit there, say,
Yeah.
you know what? If I got a pistol here, I'm gonna pull it on somebody. I know you've been there. Somebody trying to, yeah. Well, give us one. Give us
too
one
many
of them.
times.
Police may be listening.
Way too
Okay,
many
give us one of the times that really you just had to just shut it down. Just say,
Yeah.
Now, you're not talking about just music. You're talking about just life.
just bring in life. Life is music, and music is
Exactly.
art.
That's what I'm trying to-
Okay,
that's
come
what
on
I'm
with
alluding
it. Talk to them
Yeah.
youngsters.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
A friend of mine said this one time. He said, we were at the NAMM show
Okay.
a few years ago.
Okay.
And so we were looking at the artists, and we were like, that's out of order.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
And, one guy had a mullet.
Uh-huh.
He was 950 years old.
Yeah.
He had a 20-year-old woman
Yeah.
on his arm.
Yeah.
It just didn't look
I
good.
don't-
Okay? This is our point.
Okay.
We were talking about a bike. The analogy was a bicycle wheel.
Got you.
How you, as a musician, singer,
Yes.
or instrument, you develop that. I told you I spent hours
Yeah.
with that one thing.
Got you.
But if I wasn't held accountable to character building things,
Mm-hmm.
to
Right.
build all the spokes to make the wheel function,
Right.
I would be a dysfunctional bicycle, right?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to allude to, a lot of times we got to realize that music is one thing, but there's so many factors that come in there that cause you not to hear the music anymore.
You're right.
People's opinions,
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
the pursuit. What is your real pursuit? Is it because
Right.
you love the music,
Right.
or are you trying to get the money?
Right.
Wow.
Right.
I hear people say this, and I really believe it's true. Do what you love, the money will come.
That's
Yes.
so true.
You
Yes.
understand?
That's right.
Don't ever
We
let
have
money
to
be
have.
your motivation.
I think that we have to have a level of accountability with people that checks and balances.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
You know what I mean? We may not want to hear their voice, but they tell us, bad company corrupts good morals.
Guess it does.
So true.
What?
Bible says
Pay
that.
attention to
I mean,
this.
it keeps
Watch out
taking
for that.
so many people out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that has nothing to do with the music, but
No.
there's forces
Yeah.
Right.
to trying to get your frequency
That's right.
Right.
to
Confused.
tone down.
Right.
Bring it
Right.
down.
To a
Mhm.
lesser frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't vibrate the way the Father wants to play you.
Right. Exactly.
That's it.
The white
Because
noise.
He wants to play you.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
And
exactly
play
correct.
through you.
Yes.
But
it.
when you start connecting to the sources that
Lady D
really
is here.
help you get to where you got.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and we got stories. You can
Yes,
hear so
we
many
do.
stories of casualties in this industry.
Man.
Right.
You
Yeah.
understand?
So many.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to take somebody out over a situation.
Right.
Of course.
Right. Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
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 Of
Yeah.
course, you know,
Yeah.
that happens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
because of
You so
my
crazy.
governor, I had a
You
governor
in
say,
rare
don't
form
cross
today."
that boundary. Right? And I had brothers who I watched mess up.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I
Right.
had examples.
Right.
So I was like, I don't want to do that. And I'm going to say this again. My father really helped me.
Oh, that's so
He
good.
really helped me, y'all.
That's
Right.
so good.
I would always say, Daddy said, don't do that.
That's
right?
good.
Which is a good thing,
That
and
is
we can do
good.
that with our godly father because, like I said, now we have stories all day long. Shout out to Lady D,
Yeah.
from Consulting Entertainment. Much love to her. Now she's been in the game of consulting entertainment for so many years,
Yes,
like
she
as far
has.
back as we've been going. When
Yes.
Sherry Anderson had New Life Gospel
Yes.
and all that stuff there. When we had the Hollywood Park had the gospel radio station up there, we're part of that one, and the Lady D put together what we needed for the gospel brunches, and she knows where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah.
She knows. Now that's the one lady that could put together a full-blown Staples Center type concert. Okay,
She can.
and they would come in and fly in and
Yeah.
perform
And one
just
thing
because
about no
just
money,
because
just because
Lady
it's
D said, "Come on
Dorian."
down."
That's it.
Dorian said,
Just
"Come
because
down."
Dorian.
Yeah,
They're
Dorian
like, "It's
Edwards.
Dorian.
Just
We're
because she did,
coming.
it's there.
Yeah, we
Oh, don't
care
worry
about
about
the
nothing.
money.
No, that's
We're
how
coming
she
because
does. She
it's
got it
her.
locked.
Yeah.
And so, I know that she's found a lot of stuff and shared a lot of stuff with us too,
Yeah.
with how it gets that struggle within, that internal struggle.
Yeah.
It's easy to lose your soul in the music industry and entertainment
Very
game.
easy. Very
You know,
easy.
if you have one,
Yeah.
because they're going to make sure before you get in there far enough, okay, you got a soul. Okay, look here, you got to check that in.
Yeah.
Under the contract, you turn that over to us, and we got it.
Yep.
And now with this new thing going down, the Illuminati or what they're trying to see now, but they're not putting a coat on it. They're not putting a new name on it. Satan's been running this world.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
listen,
the deal.
They
So if
act
you
like the Illuminati
gotta
is
be willing to
something
walk
brand
away.
spanking new.
but how many people are really? You
Because none
see,
of this
we're
stuff
talking
is
to these young
new.
people here. See, that's what you're here for,
Yeah.
because you have an example for you can talk to these people and say, look, I've been through it. Yes, I come from this one here,
Yeah.
but look at me now. You said I haven't arrived yet,
Yeah.
but there's some people watching this here that's saying, okay, now I can take this and go to another level and all this yada yada yada. But you know what? Is it for you to take it to another level? And what's at the other level? And what do you have to go through
Right.
and put up with to go to the other level? Because money, like I said, is the root of all evil when you
Love
have
of
the
it.
love of it.
Yes.
Okay, when you have love for the game, when you have love for your sport, when you have love for what you do, then it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Because you are fulfilling what you have to do. Now, Norman Hutchinson told me years ago when I was interviewing him at Sherry's Place, and he says, I see that you do a lot of, in stores and whatever else. And so I said, yeah, I do. I said, I work a lot of times, and I mean, I don't know why I'm working so hard. He said, you know what? Ask yourself this question. He said, are you doing what you really want to do, what you really like to do? I said, yes, I am. I like to behind the camera. He said, well, if you're doing what you like to do, you could do it day and night, nonstop, not getting paid, and still want to do it.
That's so true.
And it made me think about it. Well, I was complaining about it, but I'm in a situation where I love what I do. So when you're in a situation you love what you do, and there's kids out there that are getting conflicted with the same messages, and they're coming to crossroads and saying, no, but I got to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're seeing other people running around with these videos with these Rolls Royces or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't know that it's a lease.
Yeah.
They don't know that they're bringing them in just for the video shoot.
Exactly.
They're not rolling like that. You know what I'm saying? So, see, they're looking up to you guys are the stepping stone for somebody to come stand on your shoulders.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's
So
it.
there's a group of people out there watching your life. They can hear
Right.
people talking all day long. Their parents, everybody at the church, whatever, talking. But they sit back now and they watch and they listen with their ears and their eyes now. And if they find out that you're walking that walk, then they'll slide up and say, okay, how do I get down with it? That's what we're talking to them today through you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a young man who's been in the industry, that's worked with people, that's produced with people, whatever. Now, what cat would come to you and you would sit there and say, now, at what way will you cut it off and say, okay, the money's there, you got a good sound, but I won't work with you. There's got to be something that you can tell me on that.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line when it comes to a cat coming and say, produce me?
Anything that attacks our image of God.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Simple like that, huh?
Simple.
Okay.
So I got a lot of simple principles that I stack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Stack a lot of simple
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
On
That's
foundations.
it. You have to have that in this game.
Right. Okay.
You have to have that in this
Yeah.
game, and you have to be strong enough to tell the devil no.
Right.
You have to be. You know
Right.
what I mean? And they're like, yo, but I'm offering you 2.2 mil.
Exactly.
And I said, no.
Right.
You have to be strong enough.
Exactly.
And because I know everybody want to secure the bag, but I'm sorry, I want to secure my soul.
Wow. Yeah.
That's my goal. I want to secure my soul because this ain't it. We just passing through this side, y'all. You understand? There's
Right.
something else. And for me, I want to do my best, first of all, to set the proper example. First of all, that I'm ordered to by our Heavenly Father.
Right.
That's first. By what my grandmama said. And
Yeah.
like you said, what Daddy said, for me, it was like, oh, Lord, my grandmama said, you take the good Lord with you everywhere you go.
Right.
You know, make sure wherever you go, you let your light so shine before men. You need to be a open book, able to be read. I mean, I had all of these scriptures.
Right.
But that was my grandmother's voice. You feel me? So it stuck with me. So when someone offered me something, if I do this, then I'll make you do this. And then if you do that, then I'll make you this by tomorrow. You know, and some people, I've watched them do it and they did become a star by tomorrow, but their soul hit the floor and they were never their own ever again.
Right,
You
right,
understand
right.
what
There's
I'm
some
saying?
things that you lose that you never get back.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
You never get back.
I don't
It
want to
may-
be a
yeah.
millionaire slave. I'm sorry. I don't want to be.
glamours, the
I
lights.
can't.
You know, I'm not talking about just little lights.
Right. Gotcha.
But the glamour of things. I talked to a young man. It's interesting you asked this question because I did talk to a young man who was a rapper. And he was showing me his stuff, and he was hitting. He was all over the world. And I said, man, what would you give up to get to what you really want? He said, I'd give up everything.
See,
And I
universal
said,
question.
really, you give up
Right.
everything?
Wow.
And I said, you'll sell your soul? He said, I'll sell my soul.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
you know, there are people that have not had the particulars that I may have had
Right.
growing up.
I got you.
You understand? But at the same time, when you look at what is successful, that stands a long period of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you don't have to look over your shoulder.
Right.
And you don't feel that you get up and say, man, I wish I had never done that.
Right.
You understand that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
get it.
I don't want to be connected to this person or people or things.
Yeah.
That thing that you say in the inside, but you fronting on the outside.
Right.
You understand? You fronting that you're cool with it, but you're really not.
We're
That's
seeing
real.
all the glitz and the glamour. You understand? But when the lights go down, I've seen it all. I'm seeing them vomiting in trash cans, falling over drunk, too high, cussing their parents out, being very disrespectful. You know, I've seen it all. There's nothing, I've seen it all. Think of the worst thing and I can tell you I've seen it. You feel me? And that's that.
Yes.
I'm sorry, honey.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
I really believe you can always start over.
Yo,
You know, because I've had major things stuff.
Definitely.
And then I've lost major
Yeah.
things. I had
Oh,
people
yeah.
steal lots of money from me.
Yeah.
I remember my wrestling coach, he would always say no pain, no gain. And so some of the guys at the beginning, they would lose. But once it clicked,
They got their rhythm.
they never lost.
Right.
But they understood how to lose.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
The ones
First.
that was winning all the
Right.
time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
they were
humbling.
devastated.
Yes.
Because they didn't know how to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, you got to know how to, when you fall, how to get back up. You understand? And like once you started on a route, you can always turn to the right or to the
That's
left.
true.
You ain't got to stay on the same road.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand? Because, like I said, a lot of people didn't have particulars like I had. Now, does that mean I didn't make no mistakes? Oh,
Right.
We
Man,
all did.
that's not real.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? Because they told me one time my music was too happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was too happy.
Yeah.
I ain't
Okay.
went through nothing.
Right,
I
right.
didn't suffer
Wow.
nothing.
Right.
You know, I
Right.
was Silver Spoon. I was, you know, I did everything right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you get benefits from that, right? You do what's right,
Right.
you get the right
That's
reward.
right.
No,
That's
there's
right.
like no.
But what do you learn? You
Right.
understand?
Right.
So there's a point in time you're going to get dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like to the ones that are dirty,
Yeah.
you understand that has made that decision. You can always turn around.
Always.
Right.
And you're never at a place where, as a human,
Yeah. Yeah.
as a human being,
Yeah.
you're never at a place where you cannot.
Yeah. You know
Yeah.
what? It's but for me, what I've been experiencing, and it's heartbreaking for me that, you know, the narrative right now is all about the money. It's all about the fly cars.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
all you know, and so we have a generation that's coming up right now that's all about securing the bag and you know their coins and you know, and by any means necessary.
That's true.
You understand? And it's sad because we're trying to say there's so much more that we can do.
Right.
There's so
Exactly.
much more that you can do. And you can be in this industry. We're not saying that you can't do what you want to do, but we are saying guard your soul. Guard your protect your gift,
Right,
man.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's better. I've never felt more free than when I started producing my own stuff, like
Exactly.
what
Right.
Carrie is doing now.
Right.
Because nobody said, no, I want you to sound like this person on this song, but you got that tone, so you can do that Whitney
Right.
sound. I want that. That's what I want. I'm not Whitney. Yeah,
Right.
I have her tone, but I'm not her.
That's true.
You understand? I am Makita,
Right.
and I want that to go forth. And so that was her struggle. She was like, yo, I'm so much more than these poppy ballads you guys got me singing.
Right.
She's like, do you understand? I came out of New Hope Baptist Church. I came out of Grit and Girt and you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So she wanted to be and do something different, but they would not let her.
Right.
And she had a noose around her neck, and she tried so many times to tell us she had a noose. And that is what, you know, when I'm doing these seminars and when we get to talk to other musicians and vocalists, that we have to tell them. And then we also have to tell them you can produce your own
Right.
music and be successful.
Exactly.
You know, but if you're doing this for fame, have at it. If you want to do this for fame, please have at it. But understand that fame is temporary too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we in the wrong time to be trying to do whoever we think we want to be, because this is the spiritual battles of all
Yes, it
battles.
is.
This
Yes, it is.
warfare beyond
Straight
warfare.
up.
This is the end time of all end times, whether we want to admit it or not. So we're gonna have to pick a side for real,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have to stand. You
Yeah.
understand? We're just gonna have to stand. I don't care what your genre is. Your genre of music has nothing to do with what's going on here.
Right. Right.
Righteousness has nothing to do with singing rock and roll.
Right.
Righteousness has nothing to do with singing gospel. Because
Right.
I know some gospel singers are going to bust hell wide open.
Straight up. Yep.
I said
With
that
their
again.
pastors.
Yep.
They
Yep.
going to bust it
Yes,
wide
sir.
open.
Yes, sir.
You understand? Because I know what happens once the lights go down.
Mm-hmm.
You can shamanana and untie my bow tie all day long.
Right.
But then when them lights go down, dude, for real?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how
Exactly.
Yeah.
we rocking? No, I don't rock like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you really, really have to know. You really have to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And surround yourself with people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
Because if not, the devil looks for that one little window that we leave open. Am I
But
right?
what's being presented? The lust of the eye.
The lust
Yes,
of the eye,
that's
the
right.
They
lust
cater
of
to the
flesh.
pride. Of
That's
your life,
exactly
the
that.
pride that
Yeah.
shows your pride.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
The
Yep.
7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
The lust of the
Yeah.
lust of the eye, the pride of life, and the lust
Gluttony,
of the flesh.
all of that.
Yeah, but see, he's feeding in on the fears too, and then you got a fearmonger up at the top too,
Right.
that's pushing the whole country behind
Right.
the fears. When you
Yeah.
got some cat out there, they finally caught him today. Thank God for exposing. That was on a mission to try to break down everything Democratic this year.
Oh.
We're putting all these bombs and everything in the mailboxes and all that. I don't know how long he thought he would do that, but they got him finally. But I mean, the hatred is relevant in today's society, and it came from somebody who would told us that he could do anything he wanted to a woman, and it'd be cool.
Yeah.
And he could shoot somebody in the middle of Times Square, and
Yeah.
he'd get away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're at the top and you're spouting stuff like that, what are our kids thinking?
Yeah.
What do we do now when we have to fight an uphill battle like that? We pray. We pray until we pray through it.
Yeah.
And we
And
speak.
yes,
Yeah.
and what we have to speak is what is coming out of a righteous soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It does saith the Lord.
Right.
Because a lot of people out there prophet lying and,
Yeah.
and standing in
You
pulpits
say
every
it.
Sunday
Exactly.
Yeah.
lying.
Lying.
And then, so people are not sitting back and studying to show themselves approved. Well, my pastor said this, and they're going with the pastor. I was there one day when a pastor said to his church, a very prolific pastor said, if you're getting ready to get married, what you should do is get some booking time in. You know what I'm saying? Bedtime. So that you can find out who your other party is. Okay, because he said, follow me now, because the lo and behold of it, when you take that vow to death to his part, now the vow is more important to what he's saying, the death to his part, and if you find out that you're with somebody who doesn't make you happy, you're stuck with it. And this was a very prolific pastor in our city. And I sat back and I thought about that. And because I come from a spiritual, I said, Lord, did that man actually put that out of his mouth like that to a public that goes on television and is heard all around the world? But see, this, and then another pastor got up and said that Jesus was just one of the homies. You remember that? And when he got up out of another prolific pastor, he said, "You know what? I was wrong all this time in my ministry. There is no hell. God loves us so much, He wouldn't send our people to hell." And
Wow.
so he had an epiphany that there was no hell because God loves us so much. Now, come on now, these are our very elect. In the last day are switching and bringing us down with them. So we have to show an example as a musician, as a producer, as a man of God. You've got to let people come up and say, "You're a Christian." Not ask you. You don't have to be stand on the soapbox and carry a sign. No, you will be known for the fruits that you bear.
Yeah. All that stuff bothers me now.
It is
now
scary.
Christianity is a freaking clique, man. Yo, I don't do cliques.
Yeah.
I just don't. I do kingdom.
Right.
If it's really about I just go take me back to what my father has said. Because see, that's the mind of Christ to me. That's what Yeshua HaMashiach has said from day one. I only say that which my father said, and that's the mindset that I carry. I only want to say that. It's about the kingdom. It's about what is right. I think righteousness should be our key. Don't you think?
Right standing with God.
That's
I agree.
it.
Yeah, right standing.
I
And
don't
the
think all
pursuit.
the other stuff is just a whole bunch
Exactly.
of man-added bullcrap. That,
But
Yeah.
Jesus Christ even said, religion, pure religion is to what? Feed the widows,
There it is.
take care of needs.
There
So-
it is.
So
The
words
fatherless,
have been
yes.
hijacked.
Right.
Yes, they have.
So hijacking the terminology without
Yes.
studying to
Yeah.
really understand.
Right.
I
Right.
was talking to some friends of mine about just educating
Right.
our youth, educating
Right.
in the home.
Right.
Don't let the church, I
Right.
go to church be the source of just your
Yeah.
your whole spiritual understanding.
You
Study
only get it
your own
on
personal
Sunday.
time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Not just on Sunday, but
Yeah.
I mean,
You gotta live it.
Bishop
It's
can't
a-
stand
it's
for
a-
you.
It's a lifestyle,
in
and
your
so
time. You have to learn for
you got to learn the
yourself.
lifestyle. And like I said, we had so much fun. This clock is just really peeling
It's
itself
ticking
up.
on us.
So you know what? In the last
Yeah.
couple of minutes, I want to talk about, because in the background, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to
Carrie
Carrie CD. And the name of your CD, this particular project
Intimate Thoughts.
is
Intimate Thoughts.
Okay, now give us some last minute where you can get it. How can they catch up with you? Yada yada yada.
On all the major iTunes, CD Baby, Amazon. All the major distributors. You can purchase my project.
Okay. Yeah. Now, is there an email they can catch up with you, or somebody just want to catch up with you?
Carrie Sims, CarySimms at iCloud.com or Instagram, Focus Entertainment. You can contact me via there. Right now.
Okay. You know what, guys? We had a great time, and our door is open to you, man. You got to come back and really just chop it up and bring. I mean, as you're reaching, you said you haven't arrived yet. As you're reaching there, and then when you arrive, then you got
my glorified body out.
Right. There you go.
He's doing awesome work.
So we got to continue on doing that one there, ladies and gentlemen. As we get ready to go off, like I say each and every day, every time we leave here, we had a great show, and this is what we're doing here. Facebook followers here, thank you for being a part of us, and really enjoying us. Those that are listening to us live at K2IM.media, thanks for coming down and showing up. And you know what? We do this each and every Friday live. So as I say each and every week, put God first and everything else will follow. I guarantee it.
Peace and blessings.
All right, from Lady D, from Miss M, from Akita, from Carrie, from all of our people that are a part of this team.
Yeah.
This is D Nice signing out. Until next time.
Peace and blessings.